Alright, y'all, so it's Saturday the 1st, and as per usual, on my way down to Venice. It's a little cloudy out today, we'll see what happens. I don't have any formal appointments, but I do have a couple people that have been contacting me lately trying to come down and get tattooed, so we'll see what happens. We'll see if some of them show up or anything. Yesterday was an alright day. I did like 4 or 5 tattoos, that was pretty legit. So if I can get the same or better, I won't have no complaints. So everybody stay tuned, and I'll holler at y'all tonight. Late. Alright, y'all, so I felt like it was time to have a brief discussion about tattoos in general, especially tattoos on our hands. The young gentleman you just saw me tattoo, I tattooed his hand. He didn't have any visible tattoos. As a matter of fact, he didn't have any tattoos at all, not a single one. He had just turned 18. He said he wanted to go into the clergy and thought that a cross on his hand would be a good idea. And I asked him where he was currently working, and he told me Dunkin' Donuts. So I'm gonna save the jokes on that one, but let's get back to the issue at hand. You know, what do y'all think? I just want to know. Maybe y'all can leave some comments and tell me what you think. I personally think it's hella out of line, totally wrong and stupid, and we don't call it a job stopper for nothing. And I don't care how much money you have, if you don't have a single visible tattoo, I don't feel like at the age of 18 you have any business getting your hand tattooed. However, his own mother and grandmother were with him, and they both were totally into it. And so I just felt like a jackass because here I am, probably the same age, if not maybe a little bit younger than his mother, and I'm standing here trying to be the moral compass or the voice of reason, and say, hey man, maybe you should get it up on your wrist where like a cuff could cover it if you were wearing a suit, or if you do end up becoming, you know, getting into clergy or whatever. But I just feel like this is all too redundant these days, man. You know what I mean? People everywhere are just like, they want that visible tattoo, but they want it an inch tall, and they want it on their hand or their face. And it's like, when I got into tattooing, we'd laugh you out of the tattoo shop for a question like that if you didn't have a single visible tattoo or a full sleeve, and you were working your way, you know, from your hand up to your shoulder instead of your shoulder down to your hand. It was ridiculousness, and we wouldn't entertain it. And so now, you know, all these kids these days, the second they turn 18, they want to get a tattoo on their face. And I just think it's fucking ridiculous, and it's out of control. And I think we're gonna have a whole world of jobless, hopeless, hapless, uneducated, unemployed motherfuckers that the rest of us all have to pay for, to pay their way to get by. You know what I mean? So maybe you guys can leave me some comments and tell me what you think. I know what my opinion is. Let's see what yours is. All right, y'all. So here's the breakdown for today. I'm gonna go ahead and explain it a little bit without going too far into detail, because we did that earlier in the video. But yeah, so my first kid of the day was definitely a child that wanted to get a tattoo on his hand. Of course, he wanted a cross. 18-year-old kids that are trying to get their moms to pay for their tattoos always want something religious. Why? Because mom will agree with it. And as long as they're living in her house, they'll let it, you know what I mean? If they have any type of Christian faith or whatsoever, the parent, they'll always say yes, you know, because they think their child's devoted. But in every experience I have with a child, 18, 19, getting religious tattoos, including one of my own apprentices, they don't fucking want them. They're just getting it because it's the only thing that they're allowed to get at the time. Later on in life, they spend covering that shit up, and that was one of my apprentice Josh's deal. He had a whole arm and lettering on his chest that was all religious related stuff, and I haven't seen that kid go to church a single day. In fact, I don't think he gives two shits or a fuck. So, you know, that was just kind of what mom was cool with him getting back then, and it was kind of a moment he was living in back then. Once he was out living on his own, faith and religion had very little to do with his daily existence. So all the tattoos he wanted to get from that point on were literally the opposite. They were like a horned goat on his neck, you know what I mean? Like shit like that. So like, I don't know. You could tell me that in my experiences, I don't know what I'm talking about, but yeah, I'm fucking 39 years old. I'm about to be 40 years old. I'd like to say I know a thing or two about a thing or two, and I've been around the block and I've been tattooing for a minute, so you know what I mean? It is what it is. Anyway, that little bastard works at Dunkin' Donuts. He gonna keep working at Dunkin' Donuts. And don't even think about climbing up the chain at Dunkin' Donuts, brother. You just gonna be making donuts and handing over donuts and working the cash register the rest of your goddamn life, child. So just remember that. Just my opinion, you know what I mean? Anyway, carrying on, moving on. The other tattoo I did today was a Deadpool tattoo. I liked Deadpool the movie, but I don't really know much about Deadpool the comic book. I never really read it, so the phrase that he got tattooed I was very unfamiliar with. But once I looked it up, it was easy to find some references and make a nice little filler piece for his wrist out of it. And then the young lady Sunny at the end of the night, she had a tattoo that a lot of people would refer to as unfixable. You know, if you took it into a shop, 90% of the shops you would walk into would literally say, you know, get it lasered and then holler at me. So, you know, it is what it is. I did my best. I gave it my best shot. I feel like I turned it around 180%. And I feel like she's a much happier person, or will be a much happier person now. And I feel like I gave her an opportunity to have a whole new sleeve and add on to it and be happy and proud of it. I feel like she learned her lesson the hard way about about saving some money on tattoos, that's for sure. And even then, you know, I even helped her out a little bit. That normally would have been like $200 more worth of tattoo than what I did. But anyway, so that was my day. I hope y'all can dig it. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. I was so busy today I didn't get to make the vlog, so I'm gonna have to do that shit when I get home. Y'all are just gonna have to deal with it. Sorry, man. But thanks for subscribing, and those of you hanging on, like I said, I promise they'll get better. I'm finding a little bit better way to be in front of the camera, even though I hate being in front of a camera. So just hang in there and check out tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Later.